What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. So I just did an entire video. I recorded the intro and everything, and then I deleted the intro, but I had the rest. So yeah, this video is going to be a bit different than what I usually do. It's going to be a how-to rigging video of sorts. If you like it, let me know down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll try and make more if you guys like it. And also, the next couple clips I'm going to have a beard because I recorded that before I trimmed my beard. And then, yeah, kind of confusing, but yeah, hopefully you guys like the video. So during the mullet run, I usually use two different rods, although this year I've been strictly sticking to one rod, and that's the first one we're going to talk about here, and that's the 8-foot Penn Battle 2 rod. And I've been using this rod for a while. It's actually probably one of my favorite rods I have right now, and I don't know, I don't know why, I just like this rod a lot, and I use it a lot on piers, jetties, and onshore, although I have used this offshore a lot too. But yeah, this is a 8-foot rod, and it's got the Penn Battle 2 5000 on it. Yeah, 5000. And on here I got 40-pound braid. Yes, it's kind of too much, but you never know what you're gonna hook out there, so that's what I got on here. I got the 40-pound braid on here, and then I will usually have a 50-pound mono leader or 60 pounds. And every now and then, only if I know for sure there's big tarpon out there, I'll have an 80-pound leader on here. And yeah, and this is the one I've been using a lot this year. So if you've seen a lot of my mullet run videos, this is the rod I'm mostly using out there. And I generally use it in piers, jetties, and on the shore when I'm surf fishing a lot too, when it's not the mullet run. Overall, it's a great rod. I catch a lot of sharks on here. I've caught a lot of sharks on here and some pretty nice jacks on here. And yeah, it's a really nice rod. I like it a lot. And the other rod I use, it's a bigger rod. I only got half of it here too. And that's this big boy here. This is a 10-foot Shakespeare surf rod. And I haven't used it at all actually this year, but I do use it during the mullet run every other year. But on here I have the Daiwa 8000, just so I could get that extra power on those big tarpons. And I got 50-pound braid here, and right now I currently have I'm not sure, I think this might be 60-pound leader on here. Yeah, it feels like 60 pound. So I got the 50-pound braid, and I got it hooked up to a 60-pound leader. Although I haven't used this a lot at all this year. So yeah, but this is another rod I do like using a lot during the mullet run. And generally, I've been walking a lot on the shore this year, and I've been hanging out at the jetty a lot, and I don't want to carry too much stuff on me, so I generally just got a backpack this year and that one 8-foot rod by Penn, which is smaller and lighter to carry around. Although sometimes I do wish I've had this on me, because I've lost a lot of fish this year. And the 5000, although it's nice, it's not as powerful as this Daiwa 8000. And the thing I do have to mention about the Penn Battle 2 5000 is that if you get this in the sand or you get some water on it, it's gonna give you some issues. I dropped this in the sand during one of the mullet run days here, and it screwed me up pretty good. We were chasing the mullet down the beach, and I went to go pick up some mullet off the ground that some guy had just cast netted, and I wasn't really thinking, so I just dropped this in the sand. And then the surf came in, the water got over it, and it was just a pain in the butt, man. I had to completely take it apart, clean it up as much as I can, and then just get going, because it was jacked up pretty nice with all the sand in there. So that's the only issue I have with it. With the Daiwa BG 8000, I haven't dropped it in the sand. I haven't been in the water with it, so I'm not sure how it performs. If you guys out there have been using it out there on the surf, and you have dropped it in the sand or been in the water with it, let me know how it performs, because I have no idea. Although I'm pretty sure it'll do pretty good. But then again, both of these are budget reels, so I'm not sure. So on both these rods, the setup I'm using are kind of big, and if you're out there chasing the snook, I'd probably go with something a lot smaller than what I'm gonna show you right now. I am out there chasing the tarpon, so these are a little bit bigger than what you would normally want for a snook out there. So at the end of both these rods, I'll either have the 80-pound or the 60-pound leader out there, and at the end, on the smaller one, I'll have this, I think it's like a 4 or 5 hook, maybe. I'm not sure. I'll have that at the end, and it's a circle hook, as you can see, and I'll just pop it right through the top part of the mullet's nose right there. And on the bigger setup, on the 80, if I got the 80-pound line out there, and I know there's bigger tarpon out there, I'm gonna use this one right here, which is a 7.0, I believe. I don't have the little packages on me anymore, so it's really kind of hard for me to know, but those two right there, I'll use this on the 60 and this one on the 80, and sometimes I'll just switch it back and forth. And yeah, those are the two hooks I generally have on the rod. Whether I'm using both or one, I'll be using either or, depending on the leader I'm using. So next up is how I catch the mullet. When you see the pods out there and you're chasing it up and down on the beach like I've been doing it this year with just one rod and a backpack, I'm gonna use a stinger rig. A lot of guys will go out there with a big 5-gallon bucket and a cast net. They'll cast it out and they'll have enough mullet for the rest of the day. I'd rather not do that. I'd rather use the I would rather use the snag rig. I'm not sure I know how to speak anymore. So this is it right here. It's about a foot long. I got a weight at the end and 2 treble hooks on it. And then at the end, although this one's small right now, I got like a little barrel swivel with like a little clamp. Usually using this one about this big, and the reason is because I use a heavy leader on these rigs. That way it won't snap, because there's some big mullet out there, and if you're using a light like 12 or 20-pound leader line on this thing, it will snap, and I've had it snap on me a couple times this year. So I'm using this big one right here, and the packaging says it's a size 1. I'm not sure if that differs between manufacturers, but it's a pretty decent size one. And then I am using a smaller one here, only because at the time I was running around and I couldn't find the bigger ones after I broke my other rig. But anyway, right here I got about 60-pound leader, just so I could get that extra security, I guess. And then at the end, a nice little weight here. I usually use a 1 ounce. I've used half ounces before, and that works pretty good for me. And I'll usually use like an egg sinker. I can't speak today. Egg sinker. And I got this one on here only because I lost a lot of them in the past couple weeks. So yeah, and what I do, just about a foot, and then what I do, I tie it directly onto the line like this. I found I've had more success with it, although it may differ for you guys. I got some scales right there still. What you could also do is create little dropper loops on here and just make sure they're spread out enough so the treble hooks don't latch onto each other. Although when it gets crazy out there, they'll catch onto each other real quick. And that's what I do. And when I'm out there, I just got this hanging off the side of my backpack. Lose a mullet or I need a new mullet, I'll use the bigger one. I'll just pop the swivel open, and let's say, for example, this is the end of my line. I'll just run that right through there, like that. Snap it in place. So my rig is hanging down here, from down here. Then my main line is up here, just hanging out. And I'll just throw the line out there and start snagging a mullet. Every now and then I will accidentally snag a mullet on this main hook, which is nice. But majority of the time, I find that I'm snagging a lot of the mullets on this bottom treble hook right here. If you guys are wondering about the size of this treble, it's a size 2 hook. Yeah. Again, I don't know if it differs by manufacturer or not, but that's what I'm using. And I go super cheap on these things only because I lose a lot of it. And I'm just snagging mullet out there. I'm using the Walmart brand stuff like the Eagle Claw. And yeah, the Eagle Claw. Here, I'll show you guys. That's what I'm using for the trebles. And then for the swivel, it's that size 1 right there. Kind of hard to focus, but yeah. And that's what I use to snag the mullet. Now, if I'm stationary in one place, yeah, I'll use the cast net and I'll throw the mullet in the 5-gallon bucket. But as I'm walking around a lot this year, I'm using just the 1 rod. I'm using this setup and I'm catching the mullets. And then trying to catch the tarpon, which I've unfortunately not had a lot of success with. And you guys did see me catch a snook this year off the shore during the mullet run. And that was on a 4-inch, one of those 4-inch tsunami swim baits. I wasn't using any of the setup. So yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys today. This is my first how-to / rigging video. If you guys have any additional questions, suggestions, let me know down in the comments below. If you want to see more of these, hit the like button. And if you made it to this point in the video and you liked everything, please hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys here next time.